joins us now. Robb, thanks for being with us. So
good morning, Will.
You've got the school. We've seen the pictures of the building, by the way. Beautiful school, 1895, I believe it was built. And tell me about the plans they tried to put in place to bring in migrants to shelter in the school.
Yeah, so there was a plan by an LLC who came and approached our local government. In Pennsylvania, land use is a municipal issue. So our municipal leaders were approached by this LLC that appears to work with the federal government, and they intended to house hundreds of migrants, termed in the letter refugees, in these old buildings. It's a campus of over 150 acres and 70 buildings right in the middle of our community, our township, and really something that has historical significance as well. And so fortunately, our township supervisors have handled it well to this point, and they have said it's not permitted in our zoning and our land use, but this is the kind of thing they would like to do it under the radar. This time we found out about it.
Well, let's put it into context.
Shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. We still at 1-to-1, so throw them 100s in the chat. We got 25 people watching and we got 26 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button. Let's try to get to that 50. That would be great.
Your town, this township, this rural area of Pennsylvania.
So the township that this would be sited in is about 18,000 people. The overarching area called Chambersburg, which includes about 4 municipalities and a few more, is about 70,000.
Okay. So now imagine this, right? In this little area that they're talking about here, they said it's about 17,000 people, 18,000 people. If they had got that Haitian migrant influx, the Haitian migrants would then be the majority of the people in that given area. Just think about that. That's how quickly population demographics can change when there's quantitative easing on the population numbers.
Okay. Either way, small community, 18 or 70,000. And then hundreds of migrants. Any idea where they would have come from?
No, it was very vague. We're still learning more information, getting more information from folks on the federal level. We've been working closely with Congressman John Joyce, who is our representative in Washington, D.C., just trying to figure out what happens in these scenarios. So we have very few details, which I think is what they like. Right. That's what they would like to do. You know, towns don't find out about it until they're embroiled, usually in the controversy and the mess that it's created.
And then let's talk about really quickly the logistics of how this happens. I know you said it's an LLC and it was in partnership, which is a form of a corporation. I'm assuming it's some type of nonprofit in partnership with the federal government to bring these in, and I can tell no real details, and I would assume no coordination with the local community.
Correct. Yes, there was very little communication or any coordination. Simply a vague request from this LLC. I believe it was USA Upstars, something of that nature. And, it is owned by another LLC that we don't know or believe there's any affiliation, but it's something that communities need to be hyper aware of in this environment across our country. Because if you don't want to end up like Springfield, Ohio, or Aurora, Colorado, or a place like that, you've got to be vigilant in protecting what you have in your communities across this land.
And I think that's the overarching point is that whether or not it's your township or Springfield, Ohio, this is happening and can happen in small towns all across America who ought to have a say in their own community. We appreciate you being with us this morning and helping us understand this issue. Thank you so much.
Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to how these two dudes said the quiet part out loud. They believe that people in the quote unquote small towns should have a say in what goes on in their community. They don't feel that people like you and I should have a say in what goes on in our community. That's what was silently implied. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. We can do whatever we want to other people's communities, right? But our communities, we need to make sure that we have full say and full autonomy over. Now, whatever you do and whoever you dump in those black neighborhoods, those are our dumpsters anyway. That's what they're saying. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And that inherent attitude of arrogance and just disgusting, non-hand washing, disease-ridden, perpetual, grandiose complexity thought is one of the reasons why I could never get behind anything any of them got going on over there as far as politically goes. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down, because that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. And again, if there's no evidence of that, the evidence of that is that none of this was an issue. It was only an issue for display. It was only Fox News fodder. Nothing happened on the presidential side of this except for Trump when he mentioned it at the debate. And Trump at the debate literally said, I'm skipping Chicago, I'm skipping New York, I'm skipping Buffalo, I'm skipping St. Louis, I'm skipping Detroit, I'm skipping anywhere where there's a bunch of Black Americans, and I'm gonna take care of Aurora, Colorado, and I'm gonna take care of Springfield, Ohio first. That's what he said. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
An Alabama City Council meeting was shut down after residents voiced their concerns over a recent influx of Haitian migrants.
There's no way the State Department can vet these individuals.
We're done, and I'm going to ask him, please let him talk. You have shut up and let people talk. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you to leave because this meeting is over.
Here to react, David Phillips, who was at that meeting, and an Alabama Republican mayoral candidate for that town, Brian Taunton. Welcome to you both.
So now, here goes my question. Did you guys hear that? So let me ask you guys this question. Let's see how good you guys were paying attention to. What state is this in? Where's this right here? This ain't Springfield. This ain't Colorado. This ain't New York. This ain't Chicago. You can clearly tell it ain't Chicago with Santa Claus sitting right there. This is one that y'all might not have heard about yet. Shout out to Shatera. Shatera said, yes, we having issues in Georgia as well. We have some questions. We got questions. All right, I'm going to run it back. Pay very close attention.
An Alabama City Council meeting was shut down after residents voiced their concerns over a recent influx of Haitian migrants.
There's no way the State Department can vet these individuals.
Now, here's my question for you guys. How many people heard about the Alabama migrant crisis, where there's been an influx of quote unquote Haitian migrants to areas in Alabama? If you guys have heard about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have not heard about that, then give me a thumbs down.
An Alabama City Council meeting was shut down after residents voiced their concerns over a recent influx of Haitian migrants.
There's no way the State Department can vet these individuals.
We're done, and I'm going to ask him, please let him talk. You have shut up and let people talk. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you to leave because this meeting is over.
Here to react, David Phillips, who was at that meeting, and an Alabama Republican mayoral candidate for that town, Brian Taunton. Welcome to you both, fellas. Phillip, let me start with you. You're the guy who was at that podium. You were asking questions about what's going on in town to your city council, who should be responsive to you. Why'd they cut your mic?
That's what I was wondering at the time. That was the...
So I want you guys to pay very close attention, right? Because as you can see here, what they're saying here is that this guy was at the city council meeting and he was about to voice his concerns and they cut his mic. Now, do you guys remember when the city council meetings were getting heated in Chicago, Illinois? What did they do in Chicago?
section of the meeting that's open to public comment. So when I stepped to the mic, I had a few questions for them, and they basically shut it down, excuse me, before I could even voice really any of the questions that I had. I think it was more of the fact that they really didn't want to give the answers more than they didn't have the answers.
Okay.
As I mentioned in other statements, that's the whole point, that the podium and the mic are there, is so the public can, ask the questions they have.
That's why the city council has a job, to answer questions that people in the city have. Brian, tell us about what's going on. You've got a small town there, and you've got a potential problem, it sounds like, with migrants coming in. What's going on?
Well, we do have a problem, but
that dude looks like an actual garden gnome. If you guys agree that he looks like an actual garden gnome, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you don't think that he looks like a actual garden gnome, well then say you're hallucinating. You're crazy.
First, I'd like to say thank you for having us here this morning to discuss this, but the problem is much bigger than we are. We're a small town of 12,000 people. And while I appreciate Dave's comment, the bottom line is this.
What happened to tried in a small town? It looks like small towns are getting tried in every way, shape, or form, and not much is really happening as far as the trials and tribulations that are going through these small towns. I think that like, I don't know, man, maybe like Jason Aldean should go and help them. What do you guys think? If you guys think that Jason Aldean should go and help these small towns after putting the focus on try it in a small town, and now these small towns are getting tried all over the place and nothing really spectacular is getting done, then let me know in the comment section.
We're not equipped to deal with this. Our city council and small town governments across the U.S. are not equipped to deal with this problem. Dave shouldn't have even had to be at that meeting.
Jason Aldean said that small towns are equipped to deal with all problems in the United States, especially black problems. So, I mean, this according to Jason Aldean, this is the type of problem that these small towns are perfectly primed and prepared for. Would you guys, if you guys would agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Kind of seems like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe so, maybe no. I don't know.
To have this discussion. Our city council is not prepared to have this kind of discussion. We've all been caught flat-footed on this. And bottom line is this falls back on a failed immigration policy of the Biden-Harris administration and the failures of Alejandro Mayorkas and Homeland Security. We should not be dealing with these issues, but we're being forced to, and we simply do not have the infrastructure to support them. And this is what Dave and others in our city are afraid of. These people have not been properly vetted, and they very well, I believe they are wonderful people, but many have been simply recruited into the United States by outside sources, and that comes with some major issues. But like I said, we look at what's happening in America, and we don't have the resources. We're already stretched out as a small community.
Yeah, and you're asking questions that anyone would ask in their town. Things have changed. Why have they changed? Are we safe? What are you doing about it, City Council? You think you're right. It's probably much more of a national issue than it is that particular city council in your town, Alabama. We got to leave it there. Brian and David, thanks for being with us. Good to see you.